I've got my upper ball joint pressed in. I'm going to put that back together real quick here. On the outer of these plates, of these mounts for the upper control arm are plates. Make sure you got to put those plates back on. Don't forget that. Basically, slide them in place. I'll just put my arm back in here. Set it in place with my flashlight. Bolt through. You can kind of see where the hole is. These smaller tabs are down on this. Just slide this over, slide it into place, and up here, and get my nut started. Do the same for the other side. Get that in place. I know I'm probably blocking it. It's kind of hard to show. The same thing with the plate. Put the plate on. Get that plate. And the nut. Okay, got this started. So I'm going to run these in, line my scribe marks back up, get them close. I'm not going to tighten these up. I'm just going to snug them. I still need to be able to move this arm. You want the weight of the car basically at ride height before you tighten them up. And it's going to have to go get an alignment done. So I'm going to snug them up. And then when we put it all back together, one of the last things I'll do is I'll get a floor jack underneath the bottom control arm, pick the car up, put it at ride height basically. And then I'll tighten them up, and then they'll have to undo them anyway when it goes to get the alignment done, to adjust the alignment on it. Let me snug them up. Won't be much to see there. I'm just going to run these in. I'm going to back it off just a little bit there. Just a little bit. I want that loose right now. I want it close, but I want it loose at the same time. Alright, so we'll leave that for now. We're going to go work on the bottom ball joint here. Don't get any corrosion that's in there right out. I'm not taking metal off. Sometimes these will have an outbound and inbound side, and they'll be marked. This one does not. It doesn't have any markings on it, so I don't believe it matters. But you got to be aware that sometimes they'll have a mark on them. The upper in this car has a little hole in it that has to be facing out, like this upper one does. This one does not. Doesn't have any markings or anything on it. So I'm gonna put it so the Zerk fitting is facing to the front or the back, so I can get at it basically to grease it. Put it facing directly in, you're gonna have a hard time with it. So it goes up like that. Obviously, I want a cup that fits it like that. I'm gonna make sure I'm still holding it where I had it before. I want the holes for the cotter pin facing side to side. Turn it if you have to. Turn the stud if you have to do that. Makes it easier to get the cotter pin in and out. Get mine out and fight with my ball joint press. This is always fun. But I'm going to start it with this one, which has a concave, but it's enough to get it started. And then I'll switch it up. Just because of the height of it. Okay. Can't press it all the way in like this, but I can start it and it'll get started in the arm. Make sure it's okay. Good. Looks good. Hear that popping? That pulled it in. You can hear it popping into the arm. Just enough. Just enough to get it in there. Make sure this is centered up. Kind of feel it, see it slow down and bottom out. It's all the way in. I do want to check this underneath to make sure it's all the way flush. Circle fitting. Let's put the arm back on. Or the knuckle, I should say, not the arm. Let go. It wants to face right at the arm. I can't, it won't work. Can't have that. Ah, look at that. Okay, facing it sideways. This nut started. Come on. Okay, circle fitting my top one. Put that in place. I like suspension components that have circle fittings. I just do. You grease them, they last a lot longer. If you grease them, if you don't grease them well, not gonna last very long. Okay, and my pinch bolt, my nut. See if we can get this lined up. Now, I'm going to probably have to pick this, put a jack under this arm and pick this arm up in order to do this. Enough or not? I don't know. Clean. started. Just kind of hung up. Tap it. Not the ball joint, but tap the arm. There we go. What's it the other way? I don't remember. I may have to switch that up. Trying to remember. I believe that's the way it was. I don't know that it really matters, honestly, but. I just snug that up. I'm going to torque that. Look the torque specs up. They're different for different variations of this car. 4-wheel versus 2-wheel. There's a whole bunch of different settings. So, find my. Let me snug my ball joint nut up here. And just run that in a little bit. Okay. I've got to get the rotor ready to go back on. I'm going to go clean the bearings on this. I'm going to go wash them out and repack them on the outside here. I'm just going to put the rotor back on. A little bit of grease on the spindle for it. Always a good idea. Grab the rotor. Slide that back on there. Looks like that. Bearing. It's been greased. Bearing back in. A little bit of grease in the washer. The washer back on. Back in place. And the nut. They should be just hand tight. So what I usually do is I will just get a pair of, I'll spin the rotor as I kind of tighten this down, and then I'll back it off. Do it again, and then I'll back it off, and then just snug it up. It should be just hand tight. It's a little too tight. I don't want it tight. You just want it kind of hand tight there. That's it. That's how you want it. Put the cage back on here. I'm just gonna kind of couple them in. That's in my. No, it's not in all the way. That was dumb. So now I've got to get that apart because it's in the cotter pin hole. That's no good. It's dumb. You get a small screwdriver. That was just dumb on my part. Yeah, it can't be on the. Can't be covering the cotter pin hole. That's not good. All right. Now let's try that again. Just kind of knock one or two of these down. Just push them in. I like to, at least. Does it make any difference? I don't know. They'll stay put. I know that. Just like that. Let me get a cotter pin for that. All right. That one big? Oh yeah, that's perfect. Perfect. Actually has a hole punched in it from somebody doing it before, so we'll probably end up replacing that cap. It's probably why there was some moisture in there. It didn't look great. But for now, we'll just put that back in, and then I'll get another cap for it. I'm going to torque the upper and lower ball joints, and then I'm going to pick this thing up so it's at ride height. And I'm going to do those upper arms up here. Make sure my scribe marks are on and tighten them down and torque them down. They're going to have to, you know, I'm not real concerned about the torque. They have to be tight, but they're going to get loosened up and moved anyway when the alignment gets done. So it's not going to go far before they're apart or loosened up and redone. So you just want to get them tight and take it right to the alignment shop and get it done. And that's pretty much it. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. Let me get a torque wrench. I'm not going to tell you the torque spec and look them up. I kind of stopped doing that because you kind of freak out. And there's a lot of different torque specs depending if you're 4-wheel drive, 2-wheel drive, what year it is, all that kind of good stuff. So I know what it is for this one. I can look it up. I'm just going to. There we go. Let me see where my cotter pin hole is. Maybe a cotter pin right here. So when I put these in, there's a long side and a short side to these. Now you're blind. You can see a stinking thing there. I'll try to get this up out of your way. Oh, come on. Stop that. Of course it wants to turn and face directly at you, as always. Yeah. There's a long side. I try to put that away from whatever's, closest. In this case, the knuckle, so it's easy to grab a hold of it and peel it. I'm just going to put that in. This is why you try to put the hole for the cotter pin side to side. You put it directly facing at the knuckle. It's hard to do it. It gets hard to get a hold of. Oh, I have to hold it. Help if I got the right size. Might work a little better. Yeah, there we go. That's it for that. Now let me reposition my jack and get this thing. It's just about right. I want to get out onto the ball joint though and make sure that I have this at ride height, and then I can set my scribe marks, which you probably can't even see what I'm doing. I'm going to make sure my marks are back on the scribe, and I'm going to tighten these down. Like I said, I can probably put 100 foot-pounds on it for now, which is probably fine because it's going to go right to the alignment shop and they're going to have to move it anyway. So just got to be pretty tight, that's all. Put my ABS line back up, which I will do. And I'm going to put my brakes back on. I'm not going to show you that, but just put everything back on there. Check my scribe mark, but I think it's going to be right on. And it is, because I don't know if these were set right before or not. They seem to be maxed out, so it might just be that they were so beat. Yep, it's right where it was. It came off. I don't think it's right, but it's right where it was. It doesn't matter. They're going to adjust it anyway. Okay. Don't get freaking out about the torque spec on that because it's going to the alignment shop, as I said. They're going to loosen it up anyway and move it around to align it. So I will grease the upper and lower ball joints, put the brakes back on. That's pretty much it. Not too bad. This is probably the one that's going to get you. If it's going to get you, your best bet, probably take that to somebody who has a shop press and get it pressed out.